welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. In today's topic, this Fleetwood or former Fleetwood Mac's member was assaulted and stalked by this woman. But just believe women, the generic women trope version, and feminists sit back and laugh how easy the just believe women trope has worked successfully so long. So this former major Fleetwood Mac member, I guess he didn't get the message that you can't just believe women in some generic nonsensical sense. So there are numbers of women who can't stand other women. And there is a intra-caste system of womanism. But I guess he didn't get the message. As you can see, looking at the hair, that's some pinkness on his hair. And it don't even take but half a sense of an infantile tale to say, hey, when you sit there and see somebody having pink socks or pink shoes or pink hair, what does that represent? Well, women's empowerment or breast cancer, right? It don't take but half a sense of a thought pattern. The people that know that, some people who don't know that's what it represents overall. Female empowerment in generalness or breast cancer, even though there are males that get breast cancer. But how often have you sit there and seen that being portrayed, that men getting breast cancer? Because the system does not care. And there are feminists and some other type women who don't care either, because it is a gold mine to sit there and just have pink on. How many times have we seen the word pink on shirts? You understand? But you said, what about the men? What about men's issues? What about prostate cancer, which is some of the most primary cancers also in men, especially as you get older? It's prostate cancer. And the color, for people who don't know, is light blue. So my question would be to him, it's like, hey man, won't you put where's the light blue in your hair? Or how many other males that have these pink in their hair? Now, again, if that's part of a term lifestyle category version, however, on that part. But still, if it's males having that, it's still an insult, because like, wait a minute now, you do realize that no matter what, unless they had a certain type of anatomistic type of changing, right? They still are biological males. And so it's like, that means you're still going to have some male issues and situations and diseases and stuff like that, right? And how many males will be affected by prostate enlargement? And how many numbers will get prostate cancer? But you don't see a lot of males walking around with light blue socks on, light blue shoes, light blue hair. That's a whole different topic in itself, but it is something that is irritating to me, because I'm like, it just shows the silliness and gullibility that they see certain males have, that they will sit there and talk more about women issues than talk about male issues. When again, you got numbers of women that don't care about other women. But that's a whole different topic in itself. But on this topic, you have some personnel that do just like this. This violent woman, particular Anglo woman in this situation, stalking this man. But just believe women. And it wasn't the first time. But just believe women. Do you understand that? And again, this is what feminists are doing when they can say, just believe women. So let's go ahead and share my screen on this. Make sure you can see this. Now, while I read this, I want you to keep this in mind. If this would have been vice versa, if this would have been a woman at a high level in celebrityism, and it would have been a man who did this. Just keep that in mind. You see the doublingness, hypocrisy of this? He's my father. Alleged stalker, crazy stalker of Fleetwood Mac's Lindsey Buckingham speaks out. Today is April the 5th, 2026. You see this article, April the 2nd, 2026. So let's go ahead and play this particular video. And I'm utilizing this for fair usage doctrine.
Legendary Fleetwood Mac guitarist Lindsey Buckingham attacked in Santa Monica. And tonight, police say they know who the suspect is and that she may have been in contact with Buckingham in the past.
That suspect spoke out to KTLA with her side of the story. KTLA's Sandra Mitchell live in Santa Monica with more on the investigation. Sandra.
Micah, it has now been 1 week since Lindsey Buckingham was ambushed here in Santa Monica. Now, investigators are telling us that they know who this suspect is. Still, they have not arrested her. But tonight, we were able to reach out, contact, and actually talk with the alleged attacker. On the streets of Santa Monica, another celebrity targeted by an attacker. 76-year-old former Fleetwood Mac guitarist Lindsey Buckingham last week had a scary encounter with a stalker. In 2024, an LA County judge ordered Michelle Dick to stay away from Buckingham. Tonight, Dick admitted to KTLA she did approach Buckingham last Wednesday and had previously gone to his LA home.
One time, that was that last year, but I didn't know how to have a restraining order on me.
Wait, let me look. Again, imagine if this would have been reversed on that, right? Let's go back again here.
24, an LA County judge ordered Michelle Dick to stay away from Buckingham.
Hold on, let's go back again. Hold on. Look at this picture. Yuck. But this is a different topic. It's funny, but it's not funny at all. But there are numbers of people, numbers of feminists, numbers of Sister of Chaos members, etc., and even some gullible, simpish, handpicked men think that numbers of males who got things going for themselves are supposed to settle for this. Let me say this again. There are numbers of some silly, gullible numbers of infantile level, devious type numbers of certain section of personality, persons, right? That think numbers of males are supposed to settle for this. And even Black American males who are the show horse of are people that try to make them the show horse of trying to make Black Americans, basically males, the boogeyman of look at when Black American males, when they're sitting there being successful, whatever that's supposed to mean, they always trying to go get them a white woman. So this is what Black American males that are successful are supposed to, or they think this is what Black American males are supposed to also get with too, or they think that's what they get with. But those are different topics in itself, because isn't it interesting when numbers of women, when they date outside of their race, including Sister of Chaos members, when they date outside of their race, when they sit there and date older males, right? Most time they're using those males, right? But most people don't say nothing about that, right? The hypocrisy of that, different topic. Then it's their choice. Cool. Let's continue. Sorry. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, shucks. Hold on. I don't know. I think wait a minute. Whoa. Forgive me. I don't know if, well, I'm saying, I thought if the picture wasn't up, I'm sorry. Maybe I did something in the background here. So let me go ahead and reshare my screen. I don't know how much of the screen did not show again. So let me go ahead and reshare my screen just in case. On that. All right, here we go.
Buckingham last week had a scary encounter with a stalker. In 2024, an LA County judge ordered Michelle Dick to stay away from Buckingham. Tonight, Dick admitted to KTLA she did approach Buckingham last Wednesday and had previously gone to his LA home.
One time, that was that last year, but I didn't know how to have a restraining order on me.
The LAPD confirms in the March 25th incident, the woman tossed an unknown substance at Buckingham. He was not injured.
Whoa, can't go past that, right? She threw an unknown substance at him. That could have been acid. It could have been anything, feces, anything. And you see how the personnel just kind of glossed over that, like it's just minimizing. Oh, no, ain't no big thing. She just tossed something at him. And how many times have you heard stories about, say, a particular male? Even though it's not gigantic amount of stories, but say you hear somebody. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. When we hear something about a woman, she was in a relationship or something was going on, and some bad male, he threw some substance at her, or some crazy male, he threw some substance at this woman just out the blue. We must protect women. Do you understand that? And say acid or whatever it is, acid disfigured this particular woman's face or women faces. We got to protect women. Do you understand? But since a substance of unknown origins is thrown at him, and they just kind of gloss over that as if, oh, that's really nothing. But same time, you see him with this pink hair. Deep.
As of late tonight, Dick told us she was still living in her car and had not been arrested.
If this known stalker is the person that assaulted or allegedly assaulted Mr. Buckingham, she is looking at some serious time in the state prison.
But overall, that's probably not going to overall happen, right? But at the same time, you'll have personnel that do just like this on this. They see nothing on this, right? Whereas we must protect men. He got a kind of remindment, right? He got the remindment card to say, hey, man, you get that pink hair and, whatever. I don't know if you jumping up and down, or you pro-feminist and women, when quite a number of women don't like each other, but that's a different topic. And this woman could have been someone that's very heinous, or by action, she was heinous. And she could have thrown something in his face, or she threw something at him. They could have blinded him, could have burned him, could have did anything, right? But I guess he didn't get the memo. You get the memo. So what I want to do as well, oh, by the way, see, when men are getting beat down or assaulted, what you want to call it, etc., it's looked at as, oh, well, what the man do, or funny, whatever it is. What do you mean? Just like this.
I bought you a little present.
You did? Well, where is it, honey?
Here, dear. I bought you a little present.
You did? Well, where is it, honey?
Here, dear.
This is what it's like. This is what it's like for quite a number of males every day within the Americanisms, maybe some possible other places as well. Getting assaulted, beat down, right? Emotionally, physically, mentally, getting beat down every day. Victims. And you got people that be laughing. But if it's vice versa, there is no laughability. We must protect women. You got to sit there and help these women in these shelters. We start talking about where are these many type of men shelters? Oh, there's all kind of excuses. Well, there's one over there. You don't go to Hades with that. But the system knows it's not enough males to sit there again that are tired of the one-sided buffoonery of acting like there are no men victims out there behind the hands and the foot, whatever it is, etc., of violent type of women. One last thing. Let me read just a little bit more of this article. If I close the show. Let me get back here. Give me one moment here. So let me go back. Hold on. One moment here. Make sure you can see this. A 54 54-year-old woman, Anglo woman, accused of stalking former Fleetwood Mac guitarist, songwriting vocalist Lindsey Buckingham is speaking out after the musician was assaulted. What was that? After the musician was assaulted by this woman. Last week in Santa Monica, the March 25th, 2026 attack occurred at Buckingham as Buckingham, 75 years old, was arriving to an appointment at an undisclosed location when a woman, a deranged woman, described as a stalker. What was that? Described as a stalker. And you got numbers of people that gloss right on over that when women are stalkers. Doused the artist with an unknown substance and fled the area. Oh, well, then, whatever then. We just go past that, right? The Grammy Award winning artist was not injured, but according to such and such entity, this was not the first time he and the suspect had come into contact. So this is multiple times, people. Though the circumstances surrounding their previous interactions remain unclear. Such and such entity confirmed to such and such entity that an attack occurred in Santa Monica, and said its threat management unit is working with the entity to investigate the incident. Watch this. The suspect is reportedly known to enforcement, but has not been taken into custody. Do you know how insulting that is? She's known about. Oh, you best believe they know her whereabouts. It wasn't the first time that they was talking about she was stalking or whatever she was doing toward the guy. But she wasn't grabbed up. Now, if it was vice versa, you know how quickly he'd have been grabbed up. Buckingham and his family have dealt with past stalking issues involving this 54-year-old woman named Michelle Dick. And she's been a dick, isn't she? And previously secured a what? Restraining order against her after years. What did they say again, people? After years of alleged harassment and what again? Death threats. Isn't it interesting when somebody says alleged when the person is telling you that this is what she's doing? But if it's vice versa, it is no allegement. If a man's doing something toward a woman, it is no allegement. It's, oh, that man did it. We're talking about collectively. It's, he did it. Not enough men wake up and see through this. According to the court documents, Michelle Dick began sending messages to Buckingham's wife on her business phone. That's the type of stalking too. It's harassment. Claiming she was going to unalive him. That is a superior threat, is it not? The Buckinghams declined to press charges after enforcement visited the woman and her behavior stopped. Do you see how that goes? Now, vice versa that around. A man does that, sends messages, wherever it is, to a woman's husband, tells the woman that she's going to unalive her husband. Do you understand that? And then, however, then they decide to not press charges. Are you crazy? Oh, let me phrase that. If this was vice versa, and the man was sitting there threatening the wife, you understand? And messages were sent to the husband, but at the same time, she was saying that that he was going to unalive her. And you think that wouldn't be taken seriously? Cool. Court records show later that the 54-year-old allegedly violent Anglo woman left threatening messages on Buckingham's son's phone and sent messages to his daughter through social media. Super harassment. But at the same time, she gets some free VIP passes. As many times some of these kind of women get free VIP passes. And you got some nerve of these little silly people that be trying to say, well, they be sitting there getting a couple of women and accountability. Go to Hades, man or woman who try to play that game. Not even the same planet of accountability. But again, this is what males in general are supposed to all settle for. And through the system of chaos, silly members. Oh my goodness, black males. They're always trying to get with white women when they get successful. And if that was the truth, so the HELO what? Numbers of women can date who they want, especially numbers of sisters of chaos. They date outside their race. And you don't have people saying to them, oh, look at y'all. You hate your black dad. Do you understand? And it's unfortunate. They know it's not no black men either in the States that have gotten tired of these games too and trying to ignore these kind of things. Don't change the dynamic. But again, people think that numbers of males, and they even think numbers of black males are supposed to settle for this. Okay. While numbers of women can date who they want, right? They can be cougaring, they can be in their 50s, and they are, and how many of them date younger males in their 20s or 18, 19, and you got people don't say nothing about that. Apocalyptic foodness on that. The documents also state that she was spotted outside the Buckingham's Brentwood home on numerous occasions over the years and is accused of making a false, 3-digit number call, claiming someone at the residence needed help, so she falsified. While enforcement have not identified the subject in last week's assault, but at the same time, she's known about. She had a restraining order, and she's been doing this over several years, but she's not been identified. Do you see how this? Now let there be vice versa. In last week's assault, Michelle Dick, the violent, deranged Anglo woman in this situation, who claims Buckingham is her biological father, spoke with such and such entity and admitted to approaching Buckingham last week and previously going to his Brentwood home. So she's sitting there admitting that basically she's a stalker, but she's not known about, right? Okay. One time, that was last year, Michelle Dick said when asked about allegations that she showed up outside Buckingham's home, even though she's already admitted she has, but I did know I had a restraining order on me. He wasn't a father to me, but he's my birth father. As of late Wednesday night, Michelle, the violent Dick, told such an entity she has been living in her car and has not been arrested. Regarding investigation to last week's assault, such and such entity said it is the et cetera, entity because the suspect is linked to other incidents in LA and added that an arrest is imminent. How long does that take? She's a known, basically, violent personnel, violent criminality woman. But she's not grabbed up like if this would have been a male. Do you see the hypocrisy of this? She's a very violent person. She's an extreme criminality type woman. She's just allowed to just be whatever she's doing. And you have to watch the little slide game. Well, she's living outside her car. She's living outside her car. What the hell I got to do anything? If a man was doing that and he was living in his car, you think that they would care about that? But again, the system is a brilliant system. And they utilize also feminism supremacy that sit back and laugh at quite a number of people that don't even know through the games what's going on. And when people say just believe women, they sit back and laugh because they say, oh, there are people that still believe in that trope, talking about just believe women. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP show.